Promethean power was done. We'll talk on the future of milk collection in India. Mr. Samwat, please.
Thank you. My name is Sam White. I'm one of the two co-founders of Promethean Power in Boston. We've been researching the milk collection process at the village level for about 4 years now. And for me, it is such an honor to be talking with the very people who I've been learning from for the last 4 years. And I want to thank you very much for hosting me here in Kolkata. Namaste, Bhagavatam. We tied up with our partner here in India, Rajat Gupta, through a very special colleague. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So we're 5 people, mainly engineers from MIT in Boston, and we tied up with our colleague here in India, Rajat Gupta, through a very special colleague of yours. Mr. Chandra Mogan of Hudson came to give a lecture at Harvard Business School, and we thought it would be great recruiting grounds for him to hire some really special people, but we ended up hiring a special person, Rajat Gupta. Hopefully you'll meet him later on today in the session. So I'd like to just show you a 2-minute video to show you how we went about researching the milk collection process and how we came up with the solar-powered milk chiller that we eventually developed. This is over a 4-year period of time, and here it is.
It's so impressive to see how the Indian has thrived in such difficult conditions, especially now that India has surpassed the United States to become the largest producer and consumer of milk in the world. If the industry wants to collect quality milk, we have to be able to ensure the milk right here at the village milk collection center, where there's limited power available. We set our sights to come up with a technology that chills the milk as quickly as possible after the animals have moved, and can be used in rural areas where there is limited power available. As a result, Promethean Power developed a technology that chills 300 liters of milk a day. We use a combination of solar power and 5 hours a day of grid power to cool the milk from 35 degrees C to 10 degrees C instantly to preserve its quality. The milk will then be further cooled
Great, so that is what we've been through for 4 years, and I have to tell you that it is amazing how you all are able to make this milk collection process work like clockwork, twice a day. It's given the limited electricity and the small amounts of milk that you collect every day, it's amazing what you do, and you should all be very proud of yourselves. My hats go off to you. Bahutku. So, I do have a question though, in regards to how complicated, how difficult it is to collect warm milk. Is it really necessary to have such a complicated, difficult process twice a day, where you're rushing this warm milk twice a day to a large chilling center, you're rushing that milk to get it processed, you're rushing it to the store, and then you're rushing the consumers to drink it before it goes bad? That is a question, and I want this session to be somewhat interactive, so I'm going to get a little closer to you. And I want to, for me, this is a way for me to learn from all of you, just like we've been doing over the last 4 years. So I'm going to turn this session into a bit of a polling question. So I'd like to ask you to raise your hands to answer the following 3 polling questions, okay? So looking out 10 years from now, will your bottom line depend on the quality of milk that you produce rather than the cost cutting that you have over 10 years? Raise your hand if you're going to depend on the quality of milk over 10 years for your success. Now, raise your hand if your bottom line is going to depend on cost cutting. Are there any other, is there anything I'm missing in this question?
Cost cutting and the quality.
Both. Okay, so you want to do both. So I have difficulty with this question. Roger, if you want to go to the next slide.
Next slide.
How do you have both when it's much cheaper to have large chilling centers? You know, the trend is going towards the 10,000 liter chillers, right? 20,000 liter chillers. That's the low cost way of chilling milk. But how do you have both when the only way to have quality is to chill the milk at the source where you're milking the cows and buffalo? I mean, you did say both, right? I mean, it's a difficult question, and this is something that we've been trying to grasp for 4 years now. And you know, with this technology that we have, it's not going to be both. You still have to make a choice between quality and cost. The second question I have is, you know, what we mentioned before, the centralized chilling. There's certainly a trend of getting bigger and bigger to take advantage of the economies of scale with the large chillers, right? So my question is, raise your hand if you think this trend of larger centralized chillers should continue. The hub and spoke model should continue. Now raise your hand if you think we should start chilling at the village level, at the source where you're milking the cows and buffalo. Sorry?
Should be cost effective.
And then the cost is affected. Okay. Yeah. It is quite expensive. But how do you have large volume if you're only chilling 300 liters of milk in a village?
Around 300 liters, it will be 2,000 liters.
At a village?
Yes, village.
That's in certain regions of India.
2,000 liters clusters.
So how many of you are collecting from villages that have greater than 500 liters a day?
There are so many villages.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. So, I mean, I think we can all agree that the average amount is around 300 liters, 500 liters in the village. And if you're not chilling at that village level, it's difficult to produce value-added products that demand quality milk, like baby formula, the powdered milk, potentially for export, cheese. So these are kind of the things that we're grappling with.
Sam, one interruption.
Sorry?
You know, it seems it's a very, very nice session you are handling now, but we don't have time, please.
Oh, I'll wrap up.
Another 5 minutes I'm giving you
2
as an
minutes.
extra.
2
Okay,
minutes.
please.
Okay. So my next question is, if you could come out here. This is my colleague Rajat Gupta, who we met through Mr. Chandramohan at Harvard Business School, and he's heading up our Indian operations out of Pune. So the next question is a little leading, so you'll have to forgive me. But this session is on sustainability, right? Who out there in this audience, who of you are going to step up and become a leader in this sustainability movement through less diesel consumption, less transportation? I mean, it's difficult. It's not easy to do, but I know many of you in this audience, and I know you have the capacity to stand up, be a leader, and show the world that we can accomplish. I mean, look, if you can do what you do in the difficult conditions, I know you're capable of becoming leaders in sustainability and not burning so much diesel fuel and doing less transportation. But raise your hand, who's going to step up and be leaders in this industry? We have one? Now, I want you to know Rajat Gupta is taking note of who you are. So, I think, this is really the way we envision a sustainable way of collecting milk. On the left side is is what the trend is, the hub and spoke model, and on the right side is our particular vision. It's not necessarily correct. It's something that we're continuing to learn from you on how to achieve that. But we certainly look forward to continue learning from you. In fact, Rajat and I are hosting a coffee hour at that coffee day, the coffee place, Coffee Day, right behind the pavilion at 4 o'clock today. We'd love to have a conversation with you, but I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Jai Hind.
Thank you very, very much. Really good session.